Okay, it's arena time. I still don't have my fucking wildcards back from my Luminarch Aspirants, but we're playing green, white, which I keep wanting to call GW thanks to Games Workshop. Green, white humans. This hand is just moderately okay. It's got a curve. It disrupts them. Seems pretty good. That's a cool swamp. Inquisition will probably take Thalia here, I imagine. And it did. Okay, we drew Giant Killer. We're just going to go ahead and land a Thraben Inspector and pass the turn. Opponent played Sign in Blood, mono black. It is better to be lucky than it is to be good, so we are going to play this Thalia here. Slap our opponent for 1 and pass the turn. Opponent's going to Infernal Grasp our Thalia for 3 whole mana and take damage to do so. We're going to pay some life here and slam an Elite Spellbinder and have a look at our opponent's hand, see what they're working with. No Phyrexian Obliterator, thank goodness. Multiple Gutter Bones. Do I want them to have a removal spell that pings them? Not really. We're going to make this cost an extra 2, so they won't be casting it next turn. And get in for 1. Ranger Captain of Eos can go and grab us a 1-drop. It could be a Dauntless Escort to protect the creature. Oh! Derpy derp. I thought it would be 5 mana. For some reason I thought it was 3. It was last turn because of Thalia. We cast Ranger Captain of Eos. I'm going to get a Dauntless Bodyguard here. I'm going to play it and protect our Ranger with it. Now, normally I get an Esper Sentinel just to protect our card draw. I say protect our card draw, sorry, to generate card draw. But our opponent has double Gutter Bones in hand. They may be playing a lot of mono black removal, I guess. Maybe, perhaps. Inquisition of Kozilek's going to take our Giant Killer. Then they're going to play some tapped Gutter Bones. Is the last card going to be removal? Oh, triple Gutter Bones. Hopefully we draw a Company here or a Thalia's Lieutenant to really pressure them. We drew, well, basically a Company. This is the new Inquisitor Captain. So this is the Vigilant 3/3 that basically gets half a Company. So ETBs is one of the digital unique cards. It seeks 2 cards. They get to put one of them onto the battlefield. The other one goes back into the library. And they scooped it up. Oh, I was too busy coughing. That's why we went silent there. Okay. Looks like having an extra copy of Company is good. So here you're going to see the deck list. Now, I was going to do a deck like preview, and I will still do the deck text at the beginning of the games. But it looks like a lot of people, if you click past them or just don't watch them, my retention, basically, you can see like a graph showing you how long people watch YouTube videos for. People find deck text boring. But here's the deck. We've got 31 creatures that are below 3 CMC, 2 of which... Sorry, 1 of which isn't a human, the rest are. And then we have Sagada as a 1-of, and Inquisitor Captain as a 1-of, and 4 copies of Company. I don't want to need too many 4-drops. And as you can see, got the humans. The other new piece of spice of Captain Eberhard is a 2-of, and Expedition Supply is a 2-of. Eberhard has underperformed, and Expedition Supply has overperformed thus far. They're mono black, so I'm going to get some Cyclone Apparitions into here, some Jamoka's Commands as well, maybe a Gideon of the Trials as well, and go from there. Okay, we're on 1-drop, 2-drop, 3-drop. This hand is pretty decent. I'm not looking forward to people in the comments telling me how much of a prick I am for playing the unique cards. To explain my stance on that, I've said it in a few videos now, I'm just going to say it again. Like, having unique cards in this format ain't so bad, because it's similar to having unique cards in Vintage or Legacy, essentially, right? And it gives historical identities, which I'm okay. And what I do dislike, though, and I'm quite vocal about disliking, is the idea that some of the cards that are named would function differently to other formats. Like, imagine if a Thalia in this format lost First Strike, or was a 1/1, for example. I would fucking hate it, and it'd make me very sad. Anyway, speaking of Thalia, here is a Thalia, which works the same across all formats that it's playable in. That's how I think Magic cards should work. 3 mana Legions End, they get to exile the rest of them from... I was only 1 from play, nothing from hand. Elite Spellbinder's going to look at their hand. Inquisitor Kozilek and Witch's Vengeances. I guess we're going to get rid of the Witch's Vengeances. The Kozilek, we can get rid of, and it costs them 3 mana to play it. They now have just 1 way to kill humans. They're going to Inquisition here, taking the Ranger. Now, because they've got a way to kill humans, I'm just going to play Gideon here. And this is going to allow us to attack them each turn, and then not to be able to kill it at sorcery speed with the Witch's Heavenly bullshit. And we're going to make the Faceless Haven unable to kill our Gideon next turn. I say kill, it's no longer a 4/3, because this has been digitally errated to be a... I hate it, I hate it, I hate it. I've made a video, if you want to see it, it'll be in the cards for this one, of me asking for my fucking wildcards back from my Luminarch Aspirants. And I think other players should get them back for the Faceless Havens and shit as well. We drew a Brutal Cathar. I'm going to uptick my Gideon of the Trials. I see, by uptick I mean 0 him. And we're going to go to combat. Do they have a removal spell for the Gideon? They do not. They go to 6, and then we're going to pass the turn. And we can obviously Company in their end step to make enough power to kill them next turn, although Gideon already does that. There is a Rankle. They're going to go to combat. If they hit us, things happen. So we'll let them attack. Or will they keep it back as a blocker? No, because if they attack, they get to kill our Elite Spellbinder in theory, right? They know we've got Company. We didn't even get to cast it. I'm holding it out, and they just fucking skipped it up. Green White Humans is pretty gas. Oh, baby, we're Platinum 1. Watch out, baby. Okay, we are not going first this time. We're playing Knight of Isengard. I wonder if they're taking the Hobbits there. That's right. I went there. I am very funny. This hand is the worst hand ever. This hand is reasonable. And as always, this is why I cut down from 3 copies of Sigarda originally, based upon the list that I found on Goldfish. I'm going to bottom Sigarda when we have a bad hand. I find myself mulliganing a lot with this deck. I don't know if that's an algorithm thing, if that even is a thing. Don't want to be a shuffle truther here. I don't really know. Stomping Grounds into Elves means this is probably Shamans. I wouldn't normally just fire off my Giant Killer like this, but this is our only 1-drop, I'm going to. We really want to draw a 2-drop play next turn. Although I guess we can tap down like an attacker or something, or even a mana dork in their turn, so we can utilize our mana next turn. So it's not a complete loss of tempo. Burning Tree Emissary. So this is probably Shamans, but this could still just be red-green aggro. Looks like red-green aggro, honestly. We drew nothing. We can play. Skyclad Apparition's a pretty reasonable pickup, though. We're going to tap down the Ferocid this turn. They're probably in a company now. They're 4 mana up, suspiciously. They attack with a Burning Tree Emissary. Pelt Collector from our opponent, they take 1 from that. Grawl Spellbreaker, they're going to take another 1, but they've got a 4/4 out of it. That is a large board state over on our opponent's side of the board. I guess I'm going to have to play this Skyclad Apparition to get rid of the Ferocid here. Otherwise, each of our creatures that we play are going to be bad. Now, the reason that I wasn't sure on that is because the Grawl Spellbreaker is a 4/4 trampling creature, and we don't have a way to deal with it cleanly in our hand. I guess we want to go Expedition, supply it into Elite Spellbinder, Spinebody will get a knife and be a 4/2. Our opponent's company into Brawler plus Bonecrusher Giant, which is pretty fucking terrifying, honestly. Pelt Collector has grown, they've got some energy, they're going to go to combat. I think this match is honestly lost. They have Trample here as well. So I guess we're looking to draw Coco and draw like a perfect Coco, like double removal spell, I guess. Mid-combat, something like that. Player Planes, I think we just passed the, just concede here. I don't want them to know we're playing new tech or anything, because there's some value in that, I guess. So post-board, we're going to bring in our removal, which is going to be both Skyclad Apparitions and all 3 copies of Dromoka's Command. I wonder if a Knight of Autumn is good. If we survive a swing from the big sword, the double striking sword. I think that's basically Splinter Twin. Embercleave, that's it. It's good. It's also just gains just 4 lives. I think we do bring it in. And Gideon is also probably reasonable. Raydan also makes all of their companies cost 6. Our opponent took a little bit of time to sideboard there. 3 lands, 2-drop, 3-drop, 3-drop, 4-drop. We're going to keep this. This seems pretty reasonable. Though Thalia doesn't seem that hot in the matchup, unless you sideboard into a lot of non-creature spells. I guess it makes Embercleave cost 1 more, makes companies cost 5. So maybe it's actually a lot better in this matchup than I'm giving it credit for. First Strike is also reasonable if we grow it too, thanks to Expedition Supplier and similar. Whilst our opponent is thinking, just to clarify, Expedition conjures, so creates a card. So if the Utility Knife is bounced back to our hand, we can actually play it and re-equip it. And when it enters the battlefield, it equips to a creature. So not to the Expedition Supplier itself. So with each time you play a human, once per turn, you can slam a knife into play out of his utility belt. So he's basically Batman, but his utility belt is just full of knives. Knife Man, we're going to call him. Knife Man makes a knife that then can equip to any creature you have in play, whether it be a flyer or a first strike or double strike or whatever. I'll be interested to see people in the comments section explain to me how this card, I don't believe it can, but this card can become a thing in Paper Magic, where it creates utility knife tokens. Please tell me how they'd fit that all onto the card with less text, because that's the thing with Magic cards, right? They're getting too wordy. At least digital cards, that you have to explain what a utility knife token it is on the Expedition Supplier. And our opponent is thinking so long, or gone for a shit, that they're roping. They have scooped it up. I guess they heard that Knife Man was coming for them, and they shit themselves. I guess we'll take it. Oh wait, no we won't. So I spent the time playing the game, didn't even get to rank up. I'm so glad that my opponent disconnecting after 1 game gets me no rank. That's a good use of my time, and a very solid use of the system. Well done, Arena. Well fucking done. And we're in again. I don't even know why I play Arena sometimes. I like Historic as a format, and it's smoother to play and more fun in some ways than Modo, because Modo's just fucking clunky. Imagine if we had a good digital client. Imagine if Magic the Gathering, one of the greatest games of all time, had a good digital client. Can you imagine that world? Now, this is 3 drops and a 4-drop. This is actually probably unkeepable, but I'm going to give it a shot off the back of the we're on the play, so we're a turn ahead. We are on the play, right? I believe we're on the play. Our opponent has mulliganed. Okay, we are going to lead with a basic Plains and pass the turn. Part of me wanted to lead with a Forest to make our opponent think we're not mono white. Or I say mono white, white splashing green, right? Our opponent's on Merfolk, a deck that I don't think we're that good into, honestly. We're going to play a Forest and pass the turn. This branch off has to be on Boulder Loft pathway next turn. If I misclick, we could be here. As I said for a while, what I really mean is we're just fucking dead. Silvergill Adept. I was saying how I don't know if we're good into Merfolk, and over there they got a Mist Caller, which is like an anti-company card. That's kind of... So we're going to make a bold loft. I've not punted it. That's always good to see. We got a Master of the Pearl Trident coming next. I think I want to use my removal spells on those. That said, if they are mastering next turn, maybe we just take the Silver Gill Adept off the board for now with the Brutal Cathar and Skyclave the Master. That said, we probably want to get rid of the Mistcaller before we company. So I'm going to Brutal Cathar here. Take away the Silver Gill Adept. Now, the thing about Brutal Cathar is it's better when you have 2/2 drops in hand and you're going to hit 4 mana, because then you can pass the turn with nothing, cast Coco in their turn, pass back to us, and then flip it with 2 creatures. We are not even remotely there. I guess if we hit a 4th land, Ranger Captain of Eos getting another creature to give us 2 spells to then flip our Brutal Cathar back is partly there. They play a Sylvan of the Sea. We play a land. I'm going to Skyclave Apparition this Mistcaller now to enable our company. This is a lot of signposting going on here. I'm not going to lie to you. Now, we're going to target this. We're going to say yes, and then Ward's going to go off, and we have to pay for it. So this is a 4 mana Skyclave, but it's certainly worth. Imagine if you did that and didn't pay. You'd be embarrassed. You'd look like you have egg on your face. Opponents on blue-green Merfolk, so I believe they're playing company. I played a shit ton of blue-green Merfolk prior to the release of Midnight Hunt. Getting to Plat or Diamond with that. And I can't actually remember if I was playing company. Did I do a video on it? I think Merfolk was the one thing I played a lot of that I didn't do a video on. I did videos on Elves and Affinity because I was enjoying those. And never end up actually making the Merfolk deck. I probably will still play it in the current Historic and make a video on that soon. We're just going to take 4 here. Blocking is terrible. Play another Lord post-combat, which is weird. They must have drawn off the Sylvan trigger there. And we're not going to attack. We're not going to do anything on our turn here. No attacks. On their turn, we're going to be companying. And then we're going to flip up Brutal Cathar the following turn with a 3-drop plus a 1-drop with the Esper Sentinel. And then use that to take something else and put it underneath the Brutal Cathar again. Or Moonrange Brute. Well, we have Brutal Cathar when the thing goes under it again. I love this card. This is my favourite card from Midnight Hunt by a huge margin. Simply by virtue of just getting to play with it. Now, the problem is they're going to attack here, but not with a 3/3 first strikers. Let them draw a card. I don't want to company now to try and exile this with the Skyclave because they might company into this thing, the Mistcaller. So I'm going to let it go and take 5 here because them hitting a Mistcaller will literally turn off our company and that would be awful. So I want them to cast a post-combat spell. They're not going to. Interesting. So now we're going to fire off company. If they company into a Mistcaller, it's just what happens, right? I've got to make them have it. They didn't even try, which is interesting. We're going to get Thalia plus a Thraben Inspector here. No, we'll get Esper Sentinel, actually. This means that if they have a company, they aren't companying in our turn. We end up and draw Giant Killer, which can kill the Sylvan, but not when there's other creatures in play. So we need to be careful of that. Going to play Ranger Captain of Eos here. We're going to grab a Dauntless Bodyguard. And I'm going to play the Bodyguard here. And we're going to Bodyguard the Moonrange Brute, I guess. This way, if they double block, we can actually sack the Dauntless Bodyguard to trade off with one of these bodies and keep it around. So we can get in for 3 here. It will flip on their turn and take the Sylvan away. We can't take either of these away because they have the ward and we don't have the mana to pay for it. I would fucking love for them to double block here. Not realizing the blowout of it becoming indestructible. It has first strike too, by the way. So it first strike down the first one. And then the second one would block it and trade with it. That's why they'd have to double block the 3/3. They're thinking long and hard about whether they want to try and trade off with the Moonrange Brute. There shouldn't be a thought. Like, the fact that Dauntless Bodyguard will make it indestructible makes this an absolutely incorrect thing to even consider. Maybe they have the bouncy flip your creature back to your hand spell in their hand. The Merfolk that does that. A 2 mana one that's 4 mana. Or the one that turns off its own abilities. I don't know. Maybe there's one of those. First strike damage, they go to 17. And then we're going to end the turn. Moonrange Brute flips back in their upkeep. I'm just going to get rid of Silverlund there. Getting rid of Ward, getting rid of the card draw engine, getting rid of a 5 power creature just slapping us in the face each turn that we're going to have to start chump blocking. Silver Gill added from our opponent. They reveal Kumena Speaker in their hands. They've got a 1-drop that's basically a 2/2. They play Kumena Speaker into Kumena Speaker. No attacks from our opponent, so we're going to untap. We're going to play an Esper Sentinel. We're going to play a Thalia's Lieutenant. And then I guess I'm going to hold up Giant Killer the following turn to kill a 4-drop, a 4 power creature, but we can't attack into them. They play a company that costs them 5 mana. We trigger 2 Esper Sentinels to draw a card, and then to draw a card, which feels fucking hot. I'm not going to lie. It is scary what they might get off this company, though. What do they get? They get Silverloon, giving them all fucking ward, and another Lord. They're going to get in with a 5/5 and a 5/5, so we're going to have to do some chumping here. And a 5/4, actually. Will they offer up a Lord? I would love to block a Lord. Okay, I got to figure out how the fuck to block this in a way that I like, right? So, I guess we go to blockers, and we put Brutal Cathar in front of a Kumena Speaker. We put Dauntless Bodyguard in front of a Kumena Speaker. We're going to trade the Captain off for the Silver Gill Adept, and throw 1 Esper Sentinel under the other Kumena Speaker. 4 blockers. We're then going to sack the Bodyguard to give the Brutal Cathar indestructible. Right, it took me 2 clicks, but I got there in the end. So we jumped, traded 1, sacked another one off. We've got a Captain Eberhard now. I guess I just play an Inquisitor Captain here and just see what we get, because it gets us 2 bodies, right? Like, we don't have enough mana to play a 3-drop and a 2-drop. We do have access to Giant Killer, but they all have Ward now, so that makes that shit. We grow our Thalia's Lieutenant and we conscript 2 creatures. We get a Captain Eberhard here, which grows our Thalia's Lieutenant. We say no attacks. We're probably going to lose this game, honestly, because I just cannot keep up with how big their creatures are getting. They play another Lord with another Mistbinder, then another Lord with a Master of the Pearl Trident. Boy, oh boy. Those are some big boys and girls. I think we're fucked. Comment section. I think we're fucked. Okay, we've got to block in a way that leaves us not dead, right? So we're going to put a 3-3 and a 3-3 in front of one Lord. We're going to put a double striker and a 3-2 first striker in front of another one. We're just going to block like this. We'll kill 2 Lords total. It's not great. We're going to go to 2 and lose our entire board and give them a lot of bodies back. It's fucking bad. So this is how we end up after that combat. We're on 2. They have everything. Not great. They're having their cake and eating it, and we are not. Okay, well, we drew another land. So let's go to the post-board game. We're going to play first. We're going to keep this. Are we? This is... well, we got a curve. We're just going to go 1-drop. So we're just going to go 2-drop, 3-drop, 4-drop, and hope it's enough. I mean, they're pretty powerful 2-drop, 3-drop, 4-drop, honestly. So it's not terrible. Our opponent leads with the Shoreline Scout, another digital-only card that I quite like. I know that makes me the bad guy, but I don't give a fuck. We're going to play a Thalia's Lieutenant here. They're going to play a Silver Gill Adept, revealing a Master of the Pearl Trident in hand and draw a card. And they get in for 2. We're going to play an Expedition Supplier here, grabbing a dagger and putting it on the Thalia's Lieutenant. And that gives us a 3-3. I'm not going to attack with it, because I'll happily throw my Thalia's Lieutenant under the bus, I think, next time. Or I might just take the hits to the face and then Brutal Cathar, the Master of the Pearl Trident, away instead. They play the Master of the Pearl Trident and a tap land, a Glasspool Mimic. This is 6 damage incoming. We're going to say no blocks and just take it. We go to 12 here. We draw a Redain. We're going to Brutal Cathar, the Master of the Pearl Trident, away. And we also get a trigger here, growing the Thalia's Lieutenant, and we get another trigger to make a knife. The knife is just going to go on probably the Brutal Cathar here. I'll get in for 2, but I'll keep my 4-4 back for blocking. They play an unclaimed territory naming Merfolk. They didn't just emote to the word Merfolk at me. I always think that when I first see it. Collect the company from our opponent. That was why I did consider going Ranger Captain of Eos into a 1-mana body, so we can just sack the Ranger Captain on their turn. They play a Realm Walker to get cards to top of my library and another Lord. I think I'm just going to eat the Lord here. The more Lords you eat, the bigger your meat. That's the old axiom, I believe. No attacks, because they could trade for my Thalia's Lieutenant off 2 of their bodies. They probably wouldn't do that, but I don't want to offer the trade. How big their bodies got last time after a couple of companies, I don't want to let that happen, because if they get too big, we're not going to block them. That said, we've already seen 1 company and we've survived it. A second Mirror Regery from our opponent. Good job we got rid of the first one, because 2 Mirror Regeries in a row is pretty busted. They cast a Mistcaller and they get to untap a land or tap a blocker. That's how this works with Mirror Regery. They tap with Realm Walker, a 3-4, and a 3-2 Silver Gill Adept. I think it's time to just start trading bodies off, honestly. I kind of want this Expedition Supply to survive, because it's so good at getting daggers, but I think trading off for bodies is the right thing to do. We're going to take 3 here and kill 2 bodies. They're going to get a 1-1 illusion out of it. No, 3-3. I'm an idiot. We're going to play a Ranger Captain here to Grog Thalia's Lieutenant one more time, but it'll get tapped down by the Mirror Regery, honestly. We'll get a Dauntless Bodyguard to do some more tricksy blocks. We're going to play the Dauntless Bodyguard. I'm just going to name the Brutal Cathar. This way it can block it this turn, kill something in combat. And, yeah. Our 6-6, I could attack with it knowing it's going to get blocked, but if we attack with that, they'll just attack the Brutal Cathar instead. And then we'll have just so minimal blockers we lose. But I think this matchup is just terrible for us. I think, weirdly, Humans doesn't do too well into Elves, Clerics, or Merfolk. So it actually gets stomped by the majority of the other creature decks in the format. Mirror Regery triggers off of a Master of the Atlantic, Master of the Pearl Trident, sorry, not Master of the Atlantic. I was thinking Master of Atlantis. And they tap down our Thalia's Lieutenant. They play a Kumena's Speaker, so they tap down our Cathar. And it's just all over. Comment section. We are just getting absolutely boned by this Mirror Regery. And that's the funny thing, right? The comment section is going to be mainly pissed off about me playing mechanically unique, our opponent playing digitally unique, should I say. And in reality, it's this Lauren uncommon over here that is an absolute powerhouse and a really fun part of the deck as well. As it can untap your own lands. So you can make your Merfolk basically cost 1 less. It's a cost reduction or a defender tapping tool. It's very, very good. Wow, we are just fucking dead because they've played so many Lords. Well, no. We get to survive a turn if we really want to, but I don't. I've seen enough. Good job, Merfolk player. Your deck is great. I really like Merfolk in Historic, and it fucked us. Okay, once more round the mole, we push for our final round. It's a draw. Okay, we'll do one more. Well done, Arena. So far, I've had opponent quit out, well, 1-up, and wasted 10 minutes of my life. I guess the game was fun, perhaps you could say. And we've got a draw. Cool. Okay, once more into the breach, my friends, for the final round today. I don't think the deck has really shown off what it can do, honestly. 2-lander, but at S%, I'm going to keep it. Maybe it's because I haven't really recorded until I've got to the lofty heights of Plat 1, am I right? But I've had a pretty good climb with it. Although I've been playing other decks too, like Golgari Food and shit like that. A triumph from our opponent, that means something different at least. We're going to go ahead and make a green source there just so we have one, and make a Thalia, and get in for one. This is a good start for us. Our opponent's not doing a whole lot on their first turn, and we have taxing effects in play. They have 2 mana now. They're going to cast the Territorial Cavalry. So they're on Niv. We know this is going to be Niv. So we're going to go ahead and play an Expedition Supplier. Now the problem with Niv is that they have access to Clarion Call. So that summoned a knife, and we're going to put the knife on the, I guess, the Guardian of the Raven? To get out of Clarion Call range, we need 2. Yeah, we can do that. We can do that. No attacks into the 4/4 for 2 mana. Eat your fucking heart out, Tarmogoyf. The Niv deck. I might have put Niv to light a moment ago, but there's no Bring to light in the deck. But the Niv-Mizzet deck is a control deck playing only 2 coloured spells to capitalize off of playing a Niv at 5 mana. They might actually have a Helix here for my Thalia, so maybe I should have put on the S% instead to split the difference and share it around. On the upside, if they do Helix my Thalia, I get to Coco. They're not going to Helix my Thalia here, but they might have Clarion Call next turn. So I guess I play a Thalia, Lieutenant. This will grow Thalia to a 4/3. And it will make a Blade, which I'll put on the, I guess the Thalia's Lieutenant here. Now, I'll put on the Expedition Supplier. I am so fucked to Clarion Call. It's a very good Magic card. We'll play a Sentinel. Should have played it beforehand, honestly. And go to combat and swing with these 2 4/4s. I will trade either one for the Cavu here. Maybe keeping the 4/4 back. Oh, wow. Okay, as I say, maybe keep the 4/4 back is the right thing to do if they have Clarion Call, because then they can't kill the 4/4 with Clarion Call. Okay. We're bringing both our, like, stop Wrath things. We're bringing Redain to make some of their spells harder. And we're bringing Dromoka's Command to play against the Clarion Call and 1 Gideon. Okay, we've got 2 drops, 3 drops. We've got a card that survives a 3 damage Wrath. We've got a spell to stop a 3 damage Wrath. And we've got a thing to stop Wraths in general. And we drew a 1 drop because it's better to be lucky than it is to be good. We're going to play a Bold Loft on white and play the Esper Sentinel. Okay, they played a tap land. So we're going to go ahead and play a Forest, not paying ourselves a course, and play a Thalia, which means they can't Clarion Call us next turn. It's all about that Clarion Call, baby. It's all about disrupting it and not dying to it. They play a tap land again. Next turn, they can play Dromoka's Command. So I'm just going to play a land and attack. Sorry, they can play Clarion Call, sorry. So I'm going to keep 3 mana up for Dromoka's Call. Fucking hell. I can hardly speak. I guess playing Selfless Glyph Weaver would have given us another body to attack with. But this way around, we can blank a Lightning Helix. We can blank a Clarion Call. We can do all the things. They shock themselves there. Is this a set of the record? It can't be a set of the record, surely. We drew another Dromoka's Command. I'm going to have this enter tapped and go to combat and attack. Now, I assume they're going to be a Helix here. A Justice Strike. There we go. So will we draw a card off the Esper Sentinel, or will they pay? They paid. We could have put a count on the Sentinel there and protected the Thalia. I'm going to go ahead and prevent the damage and put a counter on the Esper Sentinel. If I'd done that correctly, we would have drawn a card there. Now, obviously, what could happen? Oh, it does its damage to itself. Whoopsie daisy. That was very bad. Okay, we should have played this on turn 2 because of playing around Justice Strike, which is a common card from them. They play Helix and Justice Strike to give them multiple removal spells in multicolour. They shock themselves and play a Niv here. The problem with Niv here is that we don't have a clean answer to it. They get a load of shit into their hand. They draw 5 cards. Okay, I think I've punted the game away with my sequencing there. But, I mean, let's try and play around it, right? I'm going to play an Expedition Supplier, and that's going to put a Blade, thanks to its own ETB trigger, onto the Esper Sentinel, making it a 3/3, meaning the next time we cast a spell to kill one of my boys, we will get to draw a card. And they have 3 different ways of doing that. So we're going to have to pay 3 mana here. They won't. Wait, they did? Oh, no. They had 3 mana. I thought they only had 2 mana untapped. They hit us for 6 with Niv. We're just going to lose this game. We are not in a good spot. I kept 1 Skyclave in case they brought, for the Cavus, and if they brought in, like, cages out of the board. But in reality, post-board, I should be changing to the Brutal Cathar. So I'm going to do that this time round. So we'll play a Selfless Glyph Weaver, which protects ourselves from removal spells. And then we're going to play a Dauntless Bodyguard as well. And it's going to protect the Selfless Glyph Weaver, I guess. The problem we've got here is that they have an exile effect in hand. They also have a culling ritual, which is 4 mana to destroy all 2 or less. That's all my utility blades and my Dauntless Bodyguards. Cool. I guess I'm going to sack this. And then we'll just lose the utility knives, which is sad. I have fucked this royally. We could have kept Thalia alive, perhaps, somehow. I don't know how we would have beat the Justice Strike, I guess. They're only on 10, though, to be fair. They're going to 6 us here. We go to 8. We draw a land. We can't shock it in because of the 6 damage coming our way next turn. So we just got to apparition the Territorial Cavalry. Play a Temple Garden tapped. Go a swinging. Now, if they don't kill anything, we play Adeline and we attack and we make a 1-1. And then we Dromoka's Command onto the Adeline and then fight the Niv-Mizzet. There's a chance, right? But now they get a... Yeah. Now they get a 2-2. And they have a Prismari Command as well. Okay, well, we don't have that option then, really. We'll see what we draw. Maybe we'll draw a company, for example, to hit us some flying blockers. They cast Expressive Intuition off the treasure. We're going to get hit for 6 here, going to 2. And then we have to have the most impressive company you've ever seen. If we even draw a company, that is. Well, we drew a flying blocker. So that's certainly something. One that we can protect with Dromoka's Command too. I'm going to get to see their hand. Double Nivs and a Helix. So they're going to Niv to... they're going to Niv to draw cards. You never know. It might win. Me attacking with this Bodyguard was actually bad. Because it means that they have a 2-2. But then they blocked anyway. That would have killed us. I just basically gave them the game. But now we're in it for one more turn. They have a 4-mana Helix that we can blank with Dromoka's Command, which we're going to do. So we're going to prevent all damage from one thing and put a +1/+1 counter on. So prevent this. Put a counter here. And then we're still live to companies. Although them playing a Niv-Mizzet and drawing 5 cards, it pretty much guarantees that we lose. Maybe they just won't do it. Oh, I guess they haven't got the mana to do it. They've got 3 here. We drew an Esper Sentinel. So we're dead. Okay, on to game 3. Even though that went really badly, I still had fun. That's always a good sign. I accidentally just sideboarded in 61 cards. I don't even know how the fuck I did that. So just ignore that I did that. Please pretend that didn't happen and you did not see it. We're playing first. We're opening with... Well, shit. 3 drops into 4 mana company? We are going first. I'm going to regret this, aren't I? If I lose, it's because of this hand. I don't know, I just don't want to... I've mulliganed to 5 so many times with this deck in the last like couple of days that I just don't want to do it anymore. I just want to keep lands and spells and get there. And Gideon's pretty good, Company's pretty good, Redain is, I guess, reasonable. I actually don't know why I brought Redain in. I'm thinking of Supreme Verdict, but I don't think our opponent plays it. I guess they have the culling ritual that we just saw where they 4-mana raft all our knives away. But I've also trimmed down to only 1 knife man post board now to... make sure that we've got enough Brutal Catharsis to get rid of a Niv. Okay, we play Elite Spellbinder here. We got Company next turn, which is good. Our opponent has Culling Ritual, Fatal Push, and Lightning Helix, and 2 tapped lands. So we're going to get rid of Push here. Although that said, they'd have to actually get Revolt to use Push. So next turn they can Helix. I guess we play Gideon and tick him up. We play an Elite Dauntless Bodyguard to protect our Elite Spellbinder here. What I'm trying to do is apply enough permanence to the board that we have to stress what they've got. And they've got Helix into second Helix on the Gideon. It means that we still got bodies around, right? Okay, they let the Helix go and not kill my Spellbinder in response to the Dauntless Bodyguard. Which is good, really. It gives us... Well, the reason we're playing the Bodyguard is to get some information out of them. If they kill the Elite Spellbinder, that means we've got company elsewhere. We're going to sack the Bodyguard here so they don't get the lifelink from the... lifelink, the 3 life from the Helix. Imagine a blue-red version of Helix where it was the 2 boon cycles. So it's like 3 damage for a bolt and draw 3 for 2 mana. That'd be pretty insane. I'd love that. We're going to make Gideon into a 4/4. We're going to go to combat. They do have access to Fatal Push here, but it can't kill either of our bodies here because they're both 3 CMC. I want to go to damage, but I'm going to cast Company first, I think. We only hit Ranger Captain of Eos, which isn't great. We're going to take action, and we're going to grab a Giant Killer. So if they go next turn, untap land into Niv, we've got a way to... They take 7, go into 10, and we pass back to them. Bear in mind, if we kill their Niv, it triggers for Fatal Push, but Fatal Push only costs 3 mana. They play an untap land. This is going to be a Niv, isn't it? It's a Cleansing Nova. Could have stopped that with Ranger Captain of Eos, to be fair. We still have the Gideon post Wrath, so we're actually not too sad about this. We're going to make a 4/4. Now, am I going to Company prior to... Nah, we're going to play a Redain, I think. We're going to go to combat attack them. They go to 4 here. And then we play a Redain. The reason I'm not playing a Company It's because Redain makes all their cullings cost 1 more mana. Good game, they say. Okay, we got him. We fucking got him. There you go. Green-white humans. We end up winning off the back of like Planeswalkers and Angels and shit a lot of the time. We didn't win as much as I expected. I think this deck is very strong, very powerful. I like it because it's got a lot of disruptive elements. It's not quite Death and Taxes, but it's close. It's D&T adjacent. Thank you for watching. If you like the video, smash the like button. Don't forget to subscribe as well for more Arena and Modo and Paper Magic. Just all the magic. And I'll see you all soon. Ta-ta for now.